finally into chapter 60, and hopefully you guys have been buckled in this whole ride because it's just been a non-stop fight from the beginning of these chapters. Chapter 60 is the end of the long night. Well, shit, now Volke needs to be careful with Evianna because he's still got his plague blood.
Very cool as well. The Inquisitors Guild, somebody else takes over as Grandmaster, so we do get another new Eclipse aura created.
I bet Volke is probably like, not a moment too soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Somebody. So Adelgis starts to send directions to Volke telepathically. And I love this because this is just like a new leaf for Adelgis. New way to use his powers in a clever way. And as Volke's following the directions of Adelgis, he comes up to the wall and gets to see the rest of the guild just being badasses, like Avengers in the middle of New York City, battling it out, you know?
We saw in the tournament that they are all on a next level compared to where most apprentices are, so they've got a lot of talent to showcase.
Just makes you think all other guilds are just weeks off in comparison.
They really are.
Like, what are they even doing? Like, I don't feel like they're even trying at this point. They're just...
You didn't send your guild off to kill a Leviathan? What are you doing?
Like, come on. Like, that's like first couple of weeks kind of thing right there.
That's our entry exam.
So as Volke's approaching the rest of his guild, he does realize that if he goes back, he could actually somehow possibly give somebody else the arcane plague. And this isn't something that he wants to have happen, like, intentionally, obviously. But even if Zaxxas cuts him on accident and then gets the blood on him, like, the danger is way too close to having somebody else get infected. He does end up giving all of his runestones and his shield over to the Frith Guild, so that way they can track down the World Serpent. They have the runestone for the World Serpent when they need it. And he introduces Evianna to Illia and tells her to go with the Frith Guild, and that Illia is Volke's Livia. So Volke is leaving to protect the rest of the guild and leaving Evianna in more than capable hands. Fain decides that he's going to leave with Volke, and Volke is kind of like, what the hell are you doing, man? I don't want to infect anybody else. Fain was probably just like, dude, I'm a man eater. Like, I can't get the plague.
Finally, a good guy has the power.
Right? Oh my goodness. For once.
I know. Waiting for this to come to advantage.
Oh, and by the way, Luther is finally back to Volke. And...
he made it.
Yeah.
I just picture him like a little puppy sitting there wagging his shadow. I'll be like, hi. I've been waiting all day for you to get home.
Oh my God. I'm so excited to pee myself. But you're home.
You're home. This was like the worst day ever.
You were gone for so long, and I didn't know what I was going to do, and if you're going to come back, and oh my gosh. So Volke very quickly tells Luther, hey, I got the plague. You know, thanks for giving him the heads up. And Luther acknowledges that only arcanists are affected by the plague, and they take a lot longer to be affected. And Luther does not want to lose another arcanist. I almost cried at this. It would be my honor to protect you from this darkness. And I'm like, God dang it. Luther's I don't know how he's going to do this, but he's going to freaking do something to himself. Like, I don't know if they have like a self-destruct button or something they can press, but like, I'm like, no, this is not happening. Luther is not going to sacrifice himself to save Volke. And I'm not crying. You're crying. Okay.
And when I first read this, this was the most recent book that came out, and I was like, is this a trilogy? Is this how it ends? And I was like, this would be like an absolute insane ending point. So I was extremely concerned that Luther was going to self-destruct.
Oh my, I couldn't even imagine not having a next book to be like, okay, something has to happen positive because there's another book. There's 5 more books after this. So
the story continues.
Right. Whew. I could only imagine to be in your place or in your shoes when you read that. Like, my gosh.
It's like it's a third book. It could be a trilogy. I was like, this could get real bad, but I could see, especially with the other twists and turns, like I could see it happening.
So Adelgis decides he's going to stick with Volk as well. And Volk's like, why? Why are you like, please go away from me? And Adelgis is like, look, you were there for me when I was sick. So I'm going to be here for you while you're sick. I think this is like the most humane and emotional that Adelgis has ever been since we met him. So Volk is basically like, how are we going to find Thiessen to fix this? Because if anybody's going to fix this or can fix this, it's going to be Thiessen. He's talked about it before and basically said that Gilly's just a pretender. So obviously he's got to have some kind of clue. And Adelgis kind of points to the airship that happens to be floating over the castle, and that rope ladder just happens to come down with Karna standing on it. And this is like end scene, like the end of the book. I just have to say that this is a very cruel ending. Again, especially with your point of view, if for those that read the books as they were coming out from Nightmare through, I would not have been able to. I would not have been okay.
Yeah, it's like you said, at least with Karna coming down, there's some story left. Luther's not gonna RIP, but it is a lot of twists and turns from kind of where we stood even a few chapters ago, with Livia still alive and contending for the dragon.
And such a massive turn that Volk is all of a sudden he's abandoning his guild. He's going on the Sun Chaser. Like, what kind of crazy is going to happen next? But unfortunately, for those that are listening, this is where this book ends. So we will have to continue that in a couple weeks. With that is the end of this week's episode, with a quick reminder that John Stovall will be our guest next week for an interview. Again, he has his own RPG series. He has several series actually in that genre of books. We're so excited to talk to him. We do want to thank everybody for listening. We post every Wednesday morning around 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, 8 Pacific. In that we are on all podcasting platforms along with YouTube. So kind of catch us wherever you want. If you want to watch us on video or listen to us in person, Dan Mackison, who is our editor, does a very great job at adding pictures and links to things. So if you want to watch the YouTube, it does have some cool pictures in there. He throws in there for us. So if you want to reach out, you can get us at Gmail at frithguildpod@gmail.com, or reach out to us on Facebook or pretty much any other social media at Frith Guild Podcast. We want to thank the Frith Chronicles Wiki, and that is such a great resource. I know there's going to be a lot of updates coming to it soon whenever the bestiary comes out, so just be on the lookout for that. And Scott, do you have anything else you wanted to add to it?
No, excited to talk to John and get a little more insight into this family of writers.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks all for listening, and we'll see you next week.